Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We appreciate your viewership. Let's get started with the weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's going to be hot, about 92 to 93 here right on the coast, warmer inland. Low night's going to be 70. Our water temperature brought to us by Maranta Coffee Company. That's Miss Ariel Payne's company, and she's going to be coming on the show pretty soon again. And we're looking at 83 degrees at the end of the pier. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is a 2.5, folks. It's still going down. And the Choctaw Caryville, I don't know where it is, it's 1.8. You can't even find it on the chart. I think it's going underground, but seriously, low waters. If you're getting planned for the weekend to get on the river, it's going to be looking out for those snags and low area. But a lot of times those fish are up in little holes, so good news always comes with some bad news. Okay, so the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tide today. We're looking at a high this morning at 828. Then it's going out to about 6:15 tonight. Outgoing tide. Marine forecast, it's sort of get back to normal a little bit. 5 to 10 coming out of east, southeast. We have a special guest here in the studio, so we're going to take a break and come right back. Okay, welcome back, and a special welcome to our guest this morning. We're glad to have Jessica Graham. She's with the St. Andrew Bay and St. Joe Bay Estuary Program and runs it. And man, I feel like I've known her forever. We've been talking all morning. Most of the morning. And good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we got to tell folks a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I grew up in the UP of Michigan. Was hunting, fishing with my dad, so I kind of grew up with a love for the outdoors. Mm-hmm. Did a report on dolphins in 6th grade and decided I was going to be a marine biologist. So
how cool is that?
I stuck with it, which I think says more about my stubbornness than anything.
That's cool. And you ended up down here? And
That's right. I went to school at Florida Institute of Technology in Melbourne, met my husband, who's a local boy, and so we came back up here where his family's from, and so raising our children here.
Here you are. And married a Graham boy, Alan Graham. That's your father-in-law.
Father-in-law, that's right.
Played ball at Bay High and then at Troy, and the family played some ball.
Yeah, that's right. My husband didn't. He was baseball, but his brother played football for Arnold.
Well, good deal. And you still have family up at the UP? Or?
I do. My parents still live up there, and listen, my brothers.
This is going to be on YouTube, so they're going to get to see you. So you wave at them. I know they're proud of you. Okay, so listen, this is cool, and you have a senior in high school? I
do, yes. I'm a senior at Bay High. Not ready for that transition, but I also have a 7th grader, so she's going to stay with me for a little longer.
I'll bet. Okay, so tell us about this program and how you got started. This is really cool stuff.
So the St. Andrew St. Joseph Bay's Estuary Program is actually a program that the community has wanted for decades. Mm-hmm. And so they tried to get a national estuary program in '95. They weren't successful, but with the oil spill and some more just grassroots approach, we were able to get some funding to get it started up using some BP money from the Bay County Commissioners and the Nature Conservancy. They believed in what this area has to offer, and so they invested $1 million into the program to get us started.
Wow, that's so good. Tell the folks where your office is.
Right, so the Florida State University Panama City has graciously agreed to host us fiscally, and so they run our money for us and they give us office space, and so we are blessed with some amazing offices right there on the bay.
And these two guys are a guy named Irvin Clark and Randy Hanna.
That's
so
right.
You know those guys.
Oh yes, they're fantastic. Irvin is our best cheerleader, and Randy has a great support for our program.
We're just so proud. It's 2 days this week we've had those folks on with the bass fishing team, and now hosting the estuary program there. Now, and y'all watch the show. A lot of y'all, since I've been on for 20 years, you know how I feel about the environment. I go way back, just to take care of it, you know. And then, but at times, some other folks they don't care as much about it as we do. So that's why I have to educate them and tell them it's a win-win once you really look at it.
That's right.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Yes, it is. It really is.
So,
and that's really, our program is not anti-development or anything like that. It's how can we do it right, so we're protecting everything.
Yeah. And honestly, way back, it wasn't that big of a deal because there was so much waterfront, everything. Just put a little house here wasn't that big a deal. They just built it.
Right.
But it's amazing to watch over the years, and you've seen it.
Absolutely.
And of course, you were down in Melbourne, so I guess you saw a lot.
Oh yeah, I saw what we're maybe going to become. And so even when I was there was huge growth right in that area. You know, South Florida kind of creeping up, and so same thing here. You know, there's a lot of growth. It's not bad, you know, but we need to just make sure that we're keeping the future in our minds.
I love how you tied in St. Andrew Bay and St. Joseph Bay.
That's
right. And this is so important because they're in decent shape now, but we're having some wounds inflicted on us.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So there's always, you know, warning signs. When you measure water quality, you're looking at a symptom, not necessarily the source. So understanding what those sources are so that we can address those, that's what our program's really trying to focus on.
And we were talking about, I was telling about outdoors, how we used to plant COs, would gather the seeds and all that. And y'all trying to get some of that back in.
That's right. We were awarded a grant from St. Joe Company recently. And so they are going to fund us to do some vertical oyster gardens, as well as a native plant nursery to be able to support some of the local plants here, marsh grasses, and then hopefully sea oats as well.
Yes, yes. And we're talking about these marsh grasses and sea grasses, folks. That's the lifeblood.
That's right.
I mean, I didn't take environmental science, but I figured that out now.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're catching all the fish in the seabeds.
Hello. That's exactly. All our fishing guides, they know where to go, right in between that sea grass. Our scallops. Where are you going to find them? You're not going to find them out there all that middle of that sand. No. They're going to be right there. Well, I'm going to show you all the secret spots. But
that's right.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We've got a bunch of pictures. Come back with Jessica in just 1 minute. All right. Okay, here with Jessica Graham with the St. Andrew Bay and St. Joseph Bay Estuary Program. Dr. Jessica Graham. So you got a degree in marine biology?
That's right, yep. My dissertation was actually on coral reefs down in Mexico.
No way.
Yeah, I got to travel down there and snorkel around.
Well, what a blessing it is to have someone of her quality and qualifications running this program. I'm so impressed. She sent us some pictures, and we have all kinds of things to talk about. I told her she's going to come back. She's good friends with Miss Ariel Payne. Okay, so I will try to get both of them on the same time, but I would be talking to them. We'd have to have a designated listener.
That's right.
Okay, here we go. Well, let's start looking at these pictures. Okay, here we go. Tell us about this one right here.
Yeah, so this is seiming. So when we go out and we try to sample fish populations, this is one of the tools that we use. And so you can kind of see the staff that are in the water seining the net, and then they're capturing what's in that net right now. We collect the fish for just identification and identification and then counting to see abundance, and then we put them right back in. And so this is one of the projects we're doing. It's called Sea Stars.
Okay, and then this
is... so this is looking at the marsh habitat. So one of the things that we're interested in looking at is living shorelines and whether or not they're successful. And so we're looking at habitat creation. So we have to get on in there and count the shoots that are growing in that marsh.
Wow, so you do it in that area right there.
That's right, yeah, right behind that living shoreline, so right behind the water line.
Now that's a scientific approach to it.
It is, yeah. And so we put that data together and we can say, yes, it's creating habitat, or no, it's not creating habitat.
How cool is that? Now, what kind of grass is that?
That's Spartana right there.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Let's see, we've got this picture here.
Yes, so this is some monitoring of our vertical oyster gardens. And so we just were at Petronas, and our students, the 5th grade students, helped build those vertical oyster gardens. You put them in the water, and you can see the little baby oyster spat right there on that.
Okay, right there.
Yeah. A couple slipper shells, but also some baby oyster spats. So they recruit or settle on those vertical oyster gardens, which are just dead shells. And then they grow into a nice little reef.
How important is that? So we got some just random pictures here. So what about this?
So this is another sea stars picture, and so this is actually over in Pensacola, looking at living shorelines. They have a very different type of living shoreline here. This is Project Green Shores. So this just shows us running a transect.
Okay.
It's a difficult site, but that project extends into St. Andrew Bay, Choctawhatchee Bay, and Pensacola.
Oh, so it does, you look over Pensacola.
We do,
You know,
yeah.
that area right there is a challenging area. They've had a
is.
lot of industry over there.
Absolutely, yes.
And I know some of the old timers who knew the old timers over there.
Yeah.
And they used to catch a lot of fish and all, but it's had a
Yes,
lot
and
of
their
damage.
oyster industry is up and
Yes,
down.
I mean,
Yeah.
This goes way back with history. We've talked about it before. And any schools over there getting started on any kind of?
We don't go over to that area unless we're working with our partners. So
Yeah.
they have an estuary program too. It's the Pensacola and Perdido Estuary Program.
Good for
So
them.
we work with those partners, and they're in the schools, and they have manatee programs and other things as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, check this out. This is like what you call, tell us what this is.
This is a vertical oyster garden that's been out in the water for a couple months.
It's hanging off of a dock
You
or
just
something?
hang it off a dock, that's right, and then we monitor them. We count the spat and the oysters over time. So we ask residents who live on the water to sign up, and we put them out there, or they can put them out
Yeah.
there, and then if they want to monitor them, they can. If
Yeah.
they want us to come out and monitor, we will.
Oh, cool. So anybody can sign up with y'all
That's
and do
right,
it?
yep.
Well, I may
Yep,
look at
you
this.
can be an oyster gardener.
That's a great idea. How many could we hang on the end? How many?
You can hang as many as on your dock. You just
Yeah.
need it to be able to be underwater during low tide and then above the ground, because predators will get it if it's on the ground. And so as long as your dock is, we can put them out there.
So you like drill a hole in it? How do you hook them?
We just wrap it around a piling or
Okay.
underneath on the trusses. So I have a few on my dock, and I just wrapped the string around. So no fixtures, no holes, no anything else.
Well, we can all do that. I'm gonna sign up for this. I'm gonna challenge y'all. I know a lot of y'all on the waterfront, especially up in the North Bay area,
right.
and anywhere, especially those developed areas.
That's right, yeah.
Seriously. And what does an oyster do to the bay? He just
So it filters the water, it helps clean it. So one single oyster can filter up to 50 gallons of water a day. So
That's
it's a
something.
huge service that they provide. And we used to have a lot more oysters than we have right now. So we're trying to kickstart the area to be able to have more oyster reefs and put them back where they
We're
were.
going to work on that. We are. We're going to work on that. And,
We're trying.
That's good. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see our next picture. Here we go, right here.
So this is a small-scale oyster recycling program we have. So Hammerhead Fred's lets us go take their oysters that they serve in the restaurants, and so we collect them in buckets like this.
Yeah.
And then we haul them up to FSU has a little bit of property on the old fuel depot and in Lynn Haven.
Yes.
And so we dump them out there, and they cure, which they have to sit out in the sun for about 9 months
Okay.
to kill any diseases they might have or anything on it. Then we drill the holes in them, and we put them as our vertical oyster
So
gardens.
that's how you do
Yep.
it. That's interesting. You brought up he's got to sit out there in the sun for like 9 months.
About 9 months.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
If it's really hot time and it's summer, you can maybe get away with 6, but it takes a little while. But
You look back on history, especially like Apalachicola, and all the roads down there were oyster shells.
yes, yes, and parking lots.
The parking lot, and some of them are still doing that.
Yes.
But what a great service right here. I love that. Okay, what about this picture?
So this is a project that we actually did in both St. Andrew and St. Joe Bay. Every 5 years, the EPA comes down and does a national coastal condition assessment. So they look at everything: fish toxicity, sediment toxicity, water quality. And so we wanted to intensify the sampling. So before, St. Andrew Bay only had 3 stations in the entire bay. St. Joe Bay only had 2. So we added 10 more stations to those 5.
Good.
And so we were working with EPA to sample the sediment. So that was a picture of sediment. You have to be really careful to scoop out so much, and you got to fill a 2-gallon bucket scooping the surface. So
you got to do the scientific
That's
approach.
right,
Because that's proven to work,
Right.
And that's cool.
Yep. And that's the toxicity sampling. So you want to be really careful. You're not introducing any toxins.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, what about this right here?
So that's an example of those living shorelines that we were talking about. And so you see the little crescent-shaped reefs. This was installed by our partner, St. Andrew Baywatch, over at River Camps.
Yes.
And so this is one of the sites that we're monitoring, doing that marsh counting and the seining and other parameters as well.
Wow.
And so that helps stop the erosion of the shoreline. So you see their walking path right there, and they were trying to protect that walking path. Not wanting to put a seawall in, they're expensive, they eventually fall apart.
And you go back to nature and really,
right. It does its own
it's
job.
as simple as that, folks.
Yep.
And this is what we're talking about,
Yep.
restoring nature to original. And you see, and those seawalls are expensive, but it's interesting how you have the crescent shape, and that's
right.
to absorb the wave action.
It's to absorb the wave action and also allow accretion. So we want that sediment to build back up and create more of that marsh habitat. And then the next time the waves come, then you have the marsh habitat to help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
How cool is that? All right, let's take a final break. Got a lot more pictures. We'll be right back with Jessica Graham. Okay, welcome back. So having a great morning. I just really love doing shows like this, and I'm so proud of having Jessica on. And let's take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe, 9:20 to 11:20 this morning, and 9:43 to 11:43 tonight. We'll have to come back on. We'll talk about a lot more stuff because there's so much stuff, but you do the entire watershed. Tell us about that.
That's right. Yeah. So our watershed, our area covers portions of 6 counties. So Bay County, half of Gulf County, and then there's 4 other counties that we touch. So even South Walton. So we cover everything that happens on the uplands as well as freshwater, lakes, rivers, reach.
Okay,
we
lakes
work
and
on
rivers and
Yep.
all of us in Panhandle.
That's right. That's
need
right.
to be supportive of this. This picture right here. Let's talk about it.
So this is a schematic drawing, so just an example of what a project might look like. This is the upper portion of Martin Lake. And so we are working with the city to try to restore this area, reconnect it. It's got a lot of debris from Michael, a lot of sedimentation. And so we are working with BDI and the city to design up to 60% design of what this restoration will look like. And it's really to alleviate flooding and increase stormwater retention to help with that flooding issue as well as the habitat creation.
Well, see, and that's the thing about it, it's on freshwater too, and Martin Lake, man, does it need some help? And and really, it can look like this with this plan and going through with it and keeping the funding going. We got a couple more pictures real quick. Tell us about this one right here.
So this is one of our students volunteering. She actually is graduated now, but this is some of the work that our volunteers do. They help with the recycling program. So she's collecting the oysters. You know, like I said, it's a small scale. We use our hands and buckets. We just got a grant to help with this, to buy us some shovels and some rakes.
I got a grant to buy shovels. I love that. Okay. Let's see. I got some right here. This is your report, living shoreline monitoring.
Yes, so this is just consolidating all of the data that we collected on that Sea Stars grant over the past year. And so if you go to the next page, this just shows you kind of shoreline types, oysters that we've got, alive and dead, what we caught in each of those bays as far as fish. So just a fun way to try to get the information out there. We have all these projects, but we don't want to just talk about them. We want to show folks what we're doing.
That's right. You don't want to talk the talk. You want to walk the walk.
That's right.
And this is a fundraiser right here. Check this out. This is coming up soon.
That's right. Yeah, less than 2 weeks away. So this is our annual fundraising event. It's Race for the Bays. Our amazing logo designed by Kerrigan Marketing. They did a great job for us. We have a 5K and a 10K as well as a 1K walk. So registration is open. The t-shirt deadline has passed already, but get your registrations in. We have over 200 runners signed up already.
That's awesome. And the fundraiser, it all goes to the program.
That's right.
And,
so we can buy shovels.
I love that part. Okay, I think is that all viewers? Let's see.
I think that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
That's a lot of good things y'all are doing.
That's right. And that's just a drop in the bucket.
Okay. Okay. What can the viewers do? How can we help?
So get informed about our program. Our website has a lot of information. We have committees that meet. So we're actually going to have an annual meeting in November for our Community Action Committee. Anyone can get involved in these. We want to hear from folks of what you're seeing out there, because that's how we learn. We can't be everywhere every time. So hearing from locals is really important to our program.
And how can individuals, homeowners, if they live around the water and all, what can they do? Again,
really be careful with how you're treating your lawn. If you have a seawall, you can still do a living shoreline. I personally have a seawall, so I'm not anti-seawall. Sometimes the living shorelines are not suitable, but
I'm the same way. I have a seawall, but I would love to have a living shoreline.
Yes, and it'll help your seawall stay there longer. Sign up for vertical oyster gardens and really just kind of be aware on how your day-to-day activities can affect bay.
And she mentioned about this lawns and everything. We've talked about it before. I don't fertilize my lawn.
Right,
I don't. I mean, I water it a lot.
Picking up your pet waste as well, so that's one thing.
Just all those little things.
Yes.
And it adds up.
It does, absolutely. If everyone did that, then we could help keep that out of the bay.
We were talking about the area at Cargray Park where your office is out there at FSU. That used to be the premier scallop location.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
The old timers I talked to. Now, and we tried, I ran across a video of 2014, we planted scallops there with a group.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And we still not seeing a lot of good results.
No, and we actually just got a grant. We're partnering with the county to do a microbial source tracking. So what that's going to do is run DNA on the water to figure out if it's from cow, bird, people, dog. Wow. And so we're hoping, especially Carl Gray, where is it coming from? Because the city has done a lot of retrofits to their lift stations. They're doing a lot of septic to sewer. And so we're still seeing some issues, and the city's really interested in us getting that project going so we can fix it.
Is this not cool stuff, folks? I mean, this is what we talk about, and have Jessica come on with all her education and experience behind it. It just reinforces what we've always said, taking care of everything.
That's right, yep.
And it's not a hard project to do. What's your biggest challenge?
Funding, really. We are grant funded, and so we have to do what the grants give us money to do. There's a lot of things we know need to happen, but we can't always do them. So funding right now, especially with changes in some federal programs that we used to rely on. So we're doing what we can.
Okay, we appreciate what you're doing, and you're going to come back on.
Awesome. Yes, I would love to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Folks, we appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors and support programs like this. So you have a great day today. Do something good for someone else. Enjoy the outdoors. Let's take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.